Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Chatter in association with Cricbuzz 11, the fantasy gaming app from the house of Cricbuzz. Michael, what a last over. The last 5 minutes, for me personally, summed up what the series was all about, the drama. What did you think of it?
Well, all it was lacking in ice hockey, all the gloves go off and they all start. That's all it was lacking. Just 5 minutes of mayhem. It's been an enthralling day in terms of the play, in terms of partnerships, in terms of some good bowling from England. But I guess all the headlines are going to be about 1-0. I thought it was genius from the England pair. Not only did they come out late, Ben Duckett has played a blinder at the non-strikers end. He's spoken to the umpire, got in the way of Bummer, and then Zach Crawley. To be fair to Zach, Zach's quite a frantic player. That's the way I want Zach to play. His technique was pure. It was inside the lines of off stump. He played nice and late. He waited for that straight ball. He knocked it away for a nice two on the onside. He looked calm. He looked composed. That is the way that I'd love Zach Crawley to play for the first 10 or 15 overs of every single innings.
I think first of all, it started 90 seconds late than what it should have. That's the starting point.
It's a long walk from the England dressing room.
Don't even say that.
Yeah, it's a long walk. You've got to go down the steps. There's members that you have to go by, and I reckon they got in the way. The members got in the way, so they had to manoeuvre around the members. And then there's more steps to go down. And look, they've had a long day in the field, so they're going to walk a bit slowly. Legs are tired. They were absolutely in their right to just be a little bit late out in the middle.
True blue supporter from the house of England, in our house as well. But what was interesting, Tim Southey, the consultant, actually said in the press conference, he said, why are you making such a fuss? All the time in this match, Shubman Gill has been lying on his backside taking a massage, and you don't have a problem with that.
That's true.
That's true, you think? The pace of play.
Shubman had 7 minutes having a back massage yesterday. I mean, come on, both teams are delaying all the time. I mean, I just hope Zach Crawley's found a bat on day 4. He took that brutal blow. It was a brutal blow to the hand, and you're not even mentioning Zach Crawley's finger. His hand could be broken.
Yeah, even if he hadn't taken time for that, it was probably the last ball. But anyway, we'll come back to all that. But actually, at the end of it all, India probably had the chance to go past England. Do you think the fact that they didn't do that will actually make them a bit...
Look, it's parity. So India have got a chance, England have got a chance. I think from the position that they found themselves in the morning, where Rishabh Pant and Rahul played brilliantly, and it was just that one moment in the 90s, again, a batter in the 90s. Rishabh wants him on strike to try and get 100 before lunch. And then Ben Stokes, how many times does he need to do it in an England shirt, whether it's in a World Cup final here, whether it's in a T20 World Cup in Melbourne, whether it's a test match at Headingley, he just produces magic. When the team desperately needs something, Ben Stokes has produced a bit of absolute cricket genius once again. And I thought England throughout the day, and I don't know why, DK, but in the afternoon session, I thought, particularly from the nursery stand end, the ball started to fly through. Jofra's spell, then there was a spell from Ben Stokes, who could easily have got 2 or 3 more. Brydon Carr's bowled great. They've obviously got an injury doubt with Shoaib Bashir. I thought it was a day where England really hung in there. And I guess if you're picking from an Indian perspective, you'd probably say, they could have had a 50 or 60 run lead if everything had gone the way of India. But they could easily have had a 60 or 70 run deficit when they lost KL Rahul with that second new ball due for England. So I think all in all, 3 days of slow cricket. It's been played at a snail's pace. And now we go on to day 4 with all results still possible. It's going to be a classic.
And yeah, looking at the body language of the English team, you just felt that they almost were outplayed to a large part of the day, especially that first session when Pant was batting. And it pretty much tells you Pant as a player, because what he does bring to the table is not only just electrifying cricket, but he also uses his brains. There's a lot of method to what he does. He sees fields. When Chris Wokes was bowling with the keeper up, tried the reverse sweep, the scoop, and then once the keeper went back, he stepped out and hit a few shots. So he's always putting pressure back on the bowler using his methods, one he feels is good, and it's almost tilted in favor of Pant when he's playing a shot. It's not like he's just looking to slog one or anything. There's a lot of thinking that goes behind what he wants to do, and he's so consistent. His last few scores in England has been quite phenomenal to look at. He is easily one of the better batters from India to have come over a period of time. It's not easy to be this consistent in England, isn't it, Michael?
No, it's not. And I think in England, you get different conditions, and it's not just week by week, it's day by day in the UK. There's days where it's not swinging, then it's spinning. There's days where it's swinging and seaming. So you've got to be able to adapt. And, the amount of time that he has to play the ball. He just seems to pick the ball out of the hand up so quickly. And I totally agree with you. There's a method in why he dances down. There's a method in why he plays the ramps. There's a mess with in why he's trying to play the reverse hook shot. I mean, if you'd have said 3 or 4 years ago, we're going to see reverse hook shot, just to like pat to get a single down to short third. I'd have thought you'd have been absolutely bonkers. But he's box office. He's not going to keep. He's clearly got a bad hand, but he's still got a massive play in this game because and I don't think England will look to set just at this stage. I think they know they've got to bat really well in the opening session, and if they bat well in the second session, then they'll start to think, what can we set India to make it quite awkward on day 5. I've just got a funny feeling that we'll be talking about a spell in the morning. It's all about Jasprit Bumrah. Jasprit Bumrah is that he holds the key because he can just blow a game open within a half an hour period. We saw that pretty much in the first innings, and I think this game may just play out naturally. It may be that England get bowled out, and then it's over to you, India. You know, are you going to chase the runs? Obviously, I'm sure they'll have a pop at it. I think we're in for an enthralling last 2 days.
The two names that you actually spoke about, Rishabh Pant and Jasprit Bumrah, arguably the two most exciting cricketers this Indian team has, because every time they're out on the park, it almost feels like they'll make something happen. And these cricketers are very similar to the exciting contests we have on the Cricbuzz 11 app. All you need to do is download it and you can just play with 1 rupee. That's right, you heard it right. 1 rupee, and you can start playing all these exciting contests. And if you look at the way India have gotten to, it is mainly because of one man on this tour, the opener, the senior most, KL Rahul. He's been solid. Even today, he came in, he took his time, but he got the job done. Ideally, he would have probably wanted to bat a lot more, but he still did a fabulous job opening the innings yet again in England. Second 100 at
Yeah, I salute him. Technically perfect. Lovely player to watch.
He is.
You know, he's the dare I say it, the father figure of this team. He's the senior pro at the top of the order, playing with a huge amount of calmness and control, and you know he plays quick bowling really well. You know, he plays it so well with the time. He gets forward, he plays the forward defence, he sways out the way of steeplers from the likes of Jofra Archer, and he's got that back foot punch that he played on a few occasions today. Just a lapse. I'm sure that's all it was, a lapse in concentration just after 100. You know, the emotions that you go through of getting a century. He's played 2 Test matches here at Lords. He's got 2 centuries. He knows where the honours board is already, but he's on it twice. And again, I thought that the Rishabh run out was massive, but KL to just have a lapse in concentration to Shoaib Bashir, it was quite a soft dismissal for a player of his quality. But throughout the tour, from the minute that he walked out at Headingley, he just looks like he's got a calmness. And that's the key to batting at the top of the order. Yes, you've got to know your own method, but the body language needs to be really calm. And you know, his partnerships, or, you know, we saw the partnership at Headingley. We've seen another partnership here with Rishabh Pant. I mean, contrasting styles. Yes, left hand, right hand, but calm at one end. And I think actually Rishabh's a lot calmer than we give him credit for. I think inside that mind, he's very calm. He just that his shots create a bit of chaos because it's so unorthodox. But I think that's a really good combination.
When a bit like fire and ice. You know, one is just going at
yin and yang.
Yin and yang. Yeah. Perfect. You know, they all complement each other really well, except for that blemish that they had in terms of a run out with which at the partnership ended. I thought it was one that was filled with good stroke making, a lot of brains as well. But soon after that, run out. 10 in the space of 10 balls, 2 wickets fell. The run out and then KL Rahul. But Shoaib Bashir was in the middle of a nice spell. I think the ball was coming out nicely before Ravindra Jadeja hit one straight back at him and had his little finger injured, and he didn't take the field post that. How important a miss do you think it was for England not having him around?
I'm not too sure. I don't think there's a great deal there for the spinners just yet. And I think over the top spinners, which Shoaib Bashir is, he needs more bounce in the surface. I think side spin, you know, saw Joe Root kind of side spin the ball. He got one to spit out the rough to Washington Sundar. I'll be intrigued to see what Washington Sundar and Jadeja get out of it on day 4, because I think the side spinner is a better ball on this kind of surface. So I don't know how much Shoaib was missed. He's going to be needed in the second innings, so I hope he's okay for that. I want to ask you actually, the running
between Reddy and
one of them after lunch, it just seemed a little bit under 11-ish. It didn't look like they were communicating. They looked like they were taking on runs that weren't there. There was a bit of panic. Did they forget how to call?
Speaking about running between the wickets, it's a lot like a pot kettle calling the kettle black, because I wasn't the best at it. But I must admit, even by my lofty standards, what we saw today wasn't great. There was a lot of miscommunication. It almost felt like they spoke different languages when they were running with each other. Nitish Reddy and Jadeja almost provided England 4 opportunities. England failed to hit the stump. That's a different topic altogether. But the fact was that they were running very ordinarily. Anything could have happened. Eventually, they settled down. That was a very important partnership in the context of how the game was shaping up. And you could say the game was on a knife edge there because what Michael said before as well, if another wicket had fallen that stage, who knows? We could have been 60 runs behind as well. When I say who, India could have been 60 runs behind. It so happened that they forged a nice partnership. And then again, Jadeja and Washington. And Nitish Reddy, did you like what you saw?
Yeah. I mean, he gets that was a peach. That was a brilliant ball. But yeah, I like the way that Nitish Kumar already played. I like the way that Washington kind of just hung in there. Jadeja is a player that I admire. I just think he knows how to read. Whether it's T20 cricket, 50 over cricket, Test match cricket, he seems to always know how to read the situation of playing the pressure card. And that for me, I mean, we'll talk Rishabh Pant the run out, but that little sneak down the leg side, it was a good catch from Jamie Smith late in the day. He moved to his right nicely, but that's a big play to get one down the leg side on a player that's playing so well. And with Jadeja that if he gets batting with like 10 and 11, he can strike the ball. He can get you a quick 20 or 30. And that to me was the difference between India having a 30-40 run lead and obviously now parity. But it's the Test series that kind of keeps ebbing and flowing.
Correct.
There's one team grabs it but doesn't really hold it. And then another team comes back and then gives it away. And I just think the next 2 days is going to be very, very similar. It wouldn't surprise me if England lost 2 or 3 early ones. It wouldn't surprise me Harry Brook plays nice. I think Ben Duckett's going to be a big key at the top of the order. Yeah, I just think the way that he plays spin and the way that he kind of naturally scores quite quickly without it looking too risky. So I think the first hour or so we're in for an enthralling kind of period of the game. But it's the pressure card.
It is.
And I'll ask you, Shubman Gill, in terms of his captaincy on into his 3rd Test match, I think that's going to be a big play tomorrow because I'm intrigued to see how he captains the team and how he moves his pieces. When does he put fielders out? When does he bring them in? And I think England can play on that. A very inexperienced captain so far under Ben Stokes. When England have got into a tight situation, they found a way. They just seem to find that mentality of knowing how to win games of cricket. So I'm intrigued to see how a young captain copes with this. It's not a juggernaut because England haven't won anything major yet, but they do seem to know how to play the pressure card really well.
No, I think that's a very fair ask of Shubman Gill because he has been made the captain knowing what his potential is as a player. The first big challenge for him was how much runs he can get. Now he's crossed that because he's easily the highest run getter in the series, has looked compact and the part every time he's come out to bat. I thought he led quite nicely in Edgbaston. Now tomorrow is a...
What about him tonight on the field when he gave it the X? Squaring up to little Ben Duckett. Ben's only small.
I must say I've played a lot of cricket with Shubman Gill. I have not seen that aggressive side in him, but this one as a captain, I'm not going to say I don't enjoy it. I think there's a fire in him. It's okay. He's young. You need that sort of passion and aggression towards whatever you do. And you said that he should do it his way. And it seems like his is the aggressive way. You push him to a corner, he comes back firing. You saw that with the bat and today on the field as well. I'm sure, like everybody else, we've seen Virat Kohli at the start and how he kind of, tapered down towards the back end of his career. And I'm sure Shubman Gill will learn along the way. But I've loved watching the aggression and the passion that he showed. And for that matter, the whole Indian team, they got together. Look, whatever Zach Crawley did, he's not the first one to do it. There have been plenty who's just played for time, knowing that you don't want to lose a wicket. But the passion and aggression with which the whole Indian team came. And the last time an Indian team was really geared up at Lord's, you know what happened. They went on to win it with that.
There's something about Lords in India.
It is.
Saurav Ganguly with his top off.
See, absolutely right. There's something.
60 overs of hell, Virat Kohli.
And now
you've got Shubman Gill giving it the X, squaring up to Ben Duckett.
What else can you ask for? It was a day that had everything. And this Test series so far, I think, has been brilliant. And it wouldn't be as good as India's batting has been. I must admit, England really toiled hard. I thought Archer bowled a quick spell. Ben Stokes, after lunch, bowled an outstanding spell. And you literally had Brendan McCullum coming and telling him enough of bowling. And what do you think of Chris Woakes?
Well, Chris Woakes was looking like he was short of a gallop, and then he got the ball moving around. And it was if you look at, he's got Shubman Gill out with a good delivery, brilliant catch from Jamie Smith. He's got Jadeja out who was set, brilliant catch from Jamie Smith. So, they're 2 big wickets in the context of this game. And then he obviously gets a good ball to Jasprit Bumrah. He could have had Akash Deepak twice, 2 good reviews. And he got movement, and that's what Chris Woakes needs. He needs lateral movement. When the ball's not moving laterally and the pitch is not offering a great deal in terms of zip, clearly a Chris Woakes style bowler you wouldn't mind facing. But when the ball moves laterally and there's anything there, He's the perfect kind of bowler for England. So delighted to see him get 3 wickets. I thought the England attack bowled nicely.
True.
I really felt that they found something in the afternoon. It was Jofra and then it was Ben, and that extra pace. Bryden Cars, Ben Stokes, and Jofra Archer, three of them bowling around 85 miles an hour plus. That was a big plus for me for the England team.
I tell you what, that couple of overs Jofra Archer bowled to Ravindra Jadeja and Nitish Reddy at the start of the innings, that was lightning fast. And I'll tell you what else is lightning fast. If you play on the Cricbuzz 11 app, you can have lightning fast withdrawals. And all you need to do is download the app and just pay 1 rupee. Cricbuzz 11 app. Yeah, just 1 rupee and you can win plenty and also have lightning fast withdrawals, just like how Jofra Archer bowled today. But it's time to put Mr. Michael Vaughan on the hot spot here. This test match, after 3 days, there's nothing to choose from. So you put on your sorcerer's hat actually and tell me what you see at the end of 5 days. What is it going to take for India to do well and for England to do well actually?
What do I see? I mean, they'll bowl 80 overs on day 4. That's a fact. So we'll have 80 overs on day 4. I think. I've got a funny feeling England might get bowled out on day 4.
Oh,
I've got a funny feeling, but I think they'll get a decent amount of runs, and then it'll be down to India to chase on day 5. I think we're in for a classic. This England side, we've had one draw, and that was at Old Trafford, and the rain came. There's no rain forecast.
no.
So I can't imagine that this is going to be a boring draw.
Yeah.
I just can't see it being a boring draw. It's England, and it's the way that Ben and Bath play the game. So
It's interesting, there was a tea time tea time show, and I said that this game will definitely get a result. And Stuart Broad said, no, I believe draw is the best chance for it to happen. He's been part of the dressing room. He feels that there's not enough time in this game because of the pace of play. There's probably going to be 170 overs or 165, and there's not enough in this pitch to get 20 wickets yet.
well, I've watched England enough, and throughout my time, we didn't do boring draws. We're quite a dramatic team. And if it's going to be boring, we have a collapse and make it interesting. It's just the way that England have always played. So I just don't think it'll be boring. I think there's enough in this pitch, and the ball is now going through to the keeper. You just look at that last ball, Jasprit Bumrah ball to Zach Crawley, nip past the outside edge. We've seen a number of balls that have gone past the outside edge. We've seen slip catches, that weren't carrying on days 1 and 2 that are now carrying. So I think the outside edge is in the equation as a batter, which brings in all the dismissals. I think we're in for a classic. I really do. And it's just, I can't pick it. I think I'd just rather be India.
Okay.
Purely because that third inning of the game, it's a tricky one as a batting unit. You're not quite sure what you need to go for. And I'll keep mentioning his name, Jasprit Bumrah.
He's a big
He is the standout. Stokes has been excellent. Jofra's been great. Bryden's bowled some good spells. Wokes has got a 3 for Akashdeep and Siraj on the back of last week. Clearly a confident, but Jasprit Bumrah is head and shoulders above anything else, and he can crack open the game for India.
In case England do have a collapse, you heard it first here on Cricbuzz from Michael Vaughan, and he's got a lot of his predictions right. So a lot of Indian fans
Got a lot wrong as well.
a lot of the Indian fans will definitely would have enjoyed hearing that. And in the same vein, let's get into fast forward. Who are going to be the key players for England and India?
Well, I think Ben Duckett's a big player.
Ben
Duckett is such a good player, and he's a natural quick scorer without trying to take too many. It's clear it'll be a big day for Zach Crawley. With the way that he's played and the low scores of the last few innings, he'll need a nice number. I just hope he takes a leaf out the 6 balls that he faced tonight. He just looked calm. His technique looked strong. He left the ball, waited for that straight one. I hope he goes out with that kind of mentality. He'll probably go out thinking, if I crash a quick 40 or 50, it's going to put England in a great position. So we'll wait and see on that. Joe Root. Joe Root's always the key. He's the glue. India will have to find a way of getting him out early if they do. I think that's a big play towards India. Ben Stokes with a batting hand, again, only because I know he plays the pressure better than most. So I think Ben will play a big part. But it's a great opportunity for anybody to do something special. When it's on a knife edge, the next 2 days, the individuals that stand out and potentially win their country a game of cricket, we remember for a long period of time. But I'm going to ask you, you've asked me about who's going to be key for England. For India, I've mentioned one name. Is there anybody else other than Bumrah?
2 bowlers, I'd say. First one, Akashdeep, because I think he didn't get his links right, just like he did in Edgbaston. I think he needs to go back to the link that he bought between the 6 and 8 meter mark, and he finds a way to seam it from there, which is his strength. And that's his natural length. He should bowl a lot more of that. And Ravindra Jadeja. There's a lot of rough out there. A lot of the bowlers have bowled around the wicket, and there is enough rough for him to work with to trouble two left-handers who are very key players in that team. So I believe these two players should have a big say in the game. Jadeja already has had a wonderful time with the bat. If he carries that confidence into the next day with the ball, I think that'll be the best thing to happen for India.
How many can India chase?
I believe India can chase up to 280. I really believe that, and why I say that is because in the World Test Championship final, it was the fourth innings. It was still good to bat on, and they chased it quite comfortably. And with Shoaib Bashir being injured, not sure how much he can bowl. I think it gives India a very good opportunity to chase down something like 280. It's been done before. They need to believe it can be done
What I
again.
will say is, so England have bowled on day 2.
Correct.
They've bowled on day 3.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be bowling too much on day 4. So if England bat really well, and I hope they do, they might give India a cheeky 6 overs at the end of the day's play. If England are having to bowl 20 overs on day 4, it's far too many. Those bowlers need a rest. They need a day in that dressing room, having a few cups of tea, a couple of massages, watching the players bat nicely. The likes of Jofra Archer, Bryden Cast, they can't be padding up too soon and thinking about, oh, we've got to get a few runs, and oh, we've got to bowl again on day 4. The England bowlers need a full day's rest. They need their batters to do the work, and then they can arrive on day 5. I wouldn't say they're going to be fresh because it's been a hard week for the bowlers, but they can't be bowling on day 4 too much.
So, on that note, let's have a look tomorrow. Is England going to bat the whole day or bowl 20 overs, which is not a good sign, or just the 6 overs to put pressure back on India? To discuss all of that, we will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Until then, this is Cricbuzz Chatter in association with Cricbuzz 11, the fantasy gaming app from the house of Cricbuzz. Good night.